So I have to know, like, now that you've started the pharmacy, how did you get the name Blueberry?
Yeah, so my wife came up with it. I didn't want it to be just another last name pharmacy. I like the idea of that, but it doesn't scale as well. And it's also it's very tied to that person. So at Gaddy Pharmacy, the Gaddy family had owned it for a period of time, but it was no longer in the Gaddy family. So it was like you have that history there in the community, but also why is it still called that? So I didn't really want the last name, and then other options like the hometown pharmacy, hometown apothecary, hometown this. You get that feel for it, but it's like how many there's so many hometown things in our area pharmacy wise that I'm like I don't even know which one you're talking about. And so it's like Apple, Google, they don't have anything to do with what they actually make. And so I said,
also true.
People love what Apple is, so fruits must be a good name. So what's a fruit that's not taken yet? And my wife came up with Watermelon Health and Blueberry Pharmacy. We decided that blueberry is a little healthier than watermelons are, so we want a Blueberry Pharmacy.
That's true. High in antioxidants. That's all I know.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
I found out that the acai berry is fairly similar to the blueberry.
I don't know.
It just sounds
is.
fancier.
Yeah.
People can't pronounce it. So
People can't.
That's why. It's probably a good name for a pharmacy, though. But
yeah, then you'd have a bunch of people coming in with all kinds of butchering of your name.
Yeah.
Everybody knows what a blueberry is.
Kyle, I did tell you Josh is good for a random
fact. How to
fact.
spell it, but somebody asked how to spell Blueberry Pharmacy.
Oh,
I thought they were joking. I was like, no, it's literally. They're like, is that 2 words or one? And I was like, it's one word. It's just like the fruit.
it's one word. Honestly, some people are out there was like, I didn't even know it was one word.
On today's educational programming, right. Blueberry is one word.
Okay. All right. Well, so let's get into like your model a little bit. Your model's really unique. So I'm going to let you just describe it and then we can chat about it.
All those trends that I had just outlined kind of got me thinking, how can we redesign the pharmacy model itself? And actually, a lot of the model, whenever I tell it to a patient who might be 60 plus years old, they're like, this is just how pharmacy used to be. And so, it's not anything really new. It's just pre-insurance. And so those trends, like the, increasing number of generics, now they're so inexpensive that it almost makes more sense to just buy them outright. And from a patient perspective, it may not yet make more sense that way because they might still have $0 generics or something like that. But If you think about it, we're working with medications, the majority of the medications we have. In fact, I did an analysis on the inventory, and the average acquisition cost per 30 units is about $3.79. And so we have a month's supply costing acquisition $3.79.
Is that
and we're asking it.
That's generics only, right?
Yep. So we don't stock any brands. So we're asking, insurance to get in the middle of a transaction, and somehow, what PBMs argue they do is lower the cost. You're asking an entity to come in, take a part of that cut and somehow lower something below $3.79. It just doesn't make sense.
Right.
And so, really, the difference between our model and the traditional model is we view a future of pharmacy where you have generics bought and sold on an open and transparent marketplace, and brands being more mail order where insurance really fits, and brand specialty, high cost generics, things like that, really where insurance should be involved. So really the thing that makes our model unique is we just cut out the insurance and say, here are our costs, here's how much you can buy it for. We add on a standard dispense fee. So for non-members, it's cost plus $10. For a 30-day, cost plus $15 for a 90-day. And for members, it's cost plus $3 and cost plus $5 for 30 and 90, respectively. And so it's very transparent how we come up with those prices. Early on, we were like, patients will want to know how we came up with those prices.
How'd you come up with $10?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, no. 10 and 15 were pretty, is based on the nationwide average cost of dispense of $10.79.
Interesting.
We figured, our nationwide cost of dispense is probably lower. Like our cost of dispense is probably a lot lower than $10.79 because we don't need as much staffing. We don't have all the overhead expenses. Our prior auth department's very small. It's it's
Clearly.
covered.
Clearly, everything's
like,
covered. Right.
Yeah. As long as you can afford it, and if you can't afford it, we'll work with you to find an alternative that works best.
Right.
And so all that overhead is decreased to where our cost to dispense is well below 1079. We feel if we hit scale when we hit scale. So that's where 10 and 15 came from. Is 10 is right around there. Puts us pretty competitive with GoodRx's and all the other cash models out there. And then the 3 and 5 was somewhat more arbitrary, but it was based on, let's add up all of our costs around filling a prescription, and assuming a scaled pharmacy where we can fill a reasonable number of prescriptions, and how much do we need to cover that act of dispensing, not the service piece, not waiting on customers, not talking through cost concerns with patients, not all the phone calls, just the action of filling a prescription. And that's where we came up with $3 and $5 for the dispense fee there, because we're getting a recurring per member per month.
Sure. Yeah.
From the membership. So the service side of things should all be covered from the per member per month. And we set our membership price currently at $60 for a year and $18 a quarter. That number can adjust as we see what scale looks like for us. And honestly, that's where the service piece, adjusts accordingly. But the dispensing side is really, should be fairly set based on those fixed costs for each prescription. But yeah, we thought patients will want to know, how it would be really cool to see the price breakdown, how we come up with our drug pricing. And what we realized is patients just want to see what the cost is.
Just want to know what they got to pay. Yeah. Is that what it is?
They don't really care that the vial costs 3 cents a lid, 6 cents for the vial. The label costs 3 cents, all that stuff. Just want to know, is it cheaper than what I'm currently paying? So a lot of our marketing has kind of adjusted to that.
Interesting. Okay.